This is the TNA Wrestling November 13th, 2025 full show results video, which takes place at Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. TNA World Champion Mike Santana opened the show, entering to a big reaction as the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." Santana reflected on his difficult journey, saying beating Trick Williams took longer than expected, but he always believed in himself, just like his daughter did. Cutting partly in Spanish, he credited the fans for supporting him from the moment he returned to TNA, determined to reach the top. Now, as champion, he knows there's a target on his back, acknowledging that Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian still hold call your shot opportunities. Santana invited challengers from anywhere in the world, promising to devour anyone who couldn't match his fire, proudly declaring himself a Boricua from the Bronx. Ryan Nemeth then interrupted, mockingly congratulating Santana and defending his brother Nick, who wasn't present. After trading insults, Santana demanded a title match against Ryan for later in the night, vowing to destroy him and send a message to Nick. Gia Miller interviewed Kalani Jordan, who said she welcomes competition and wishes she were facing Ash by Elegance, her former mentor. The Angel Warriors and Mara Sadi approached, accusing her of acting differently and offering their locker room for support. Jordan dismissed them, saying they've never been champions and won't get close enough to feel like one. Layin Lee spoke to her in Chinese, and Zaya Brookside angrily called Jordan out, telling her she'll see her at NXT next week. TNA Director of Authority Santino Marella came out to greet the Florida crowd and introduced NXT General Manager Ava. Ava thanked fans for the warm welcome and said NXT Showdown proved both brands earned each other's respect, delivering moments the wrestling world will never forget. She promised more cross-brand matches and opportunities ahead. Ava announced she can't appear weekly, but Ariana Grace will represent her in TNA. Grace happily returned, saying she'll keep things civil, and Santino closed by telling everyone to enjoy the show. Then we saw a match between Indi Hartwell versus Dani Luna. The match began with Indi Hartwell and Lyra Luna locking up before Hartwell scored an early 2-count with a side slam. Luna countered a suplex attempt, sending Hartwell into the corner and hitting a turnbuckle clothesline for a near fall. She kept control and set up a powerbomb, but Hartwell reversed into a Rana and fired back with multiple clotheslines. After battling outside, Hartwell hit a spinebuster on the floor, then a top rope elbow for 2. Luna later searched under the ringside, grabbed a chair, and entered the ring. Hartwell took the chair and struck Luna, causing a disqualification as she continued the attack. After the match, Indi Hartwell challenges Dani Luna to face her in a no DQ match tomorrow at Turning Point. Eric Young then cuts a promo outside among the fans, and he says he kept trying to tell them the truth and that the cleanse is coming. Young then says no one wanted to listen to him or take his flyers. Young then says he is going to be on the right side of history, and the truth is going to be around the corner. The System made their way to the ring, celebrating their role in history at Bound for Glory. Eddie Edwards reflected on the war they went through, praising Alicia Edwards for her warrior mentality and expressing his love for her. He shared how meaningful it was to have their family, including their daughter, witness their victory together. Moose then said BFG proved 3 things: Edwards is hardcore, the System is a family, and you always trust the System. JDC took the mic, calling it a special night and announcing that he will retire from in-ring competition after Genesis in January. He thanked WWE, TNA, and especially the TNA locker room, calling it the best he's ever been in, and promised to help the System choose his successor. The Rascals interrupted the System, challenging them to a full team versus team match. Moose pointed out they were only 3, but the Rascals revealed they had a 4th member for the Orlando show. JDC said he had one more fight in him and asked Santino to make the match official for tomorrow. We then see Order 4 making their way into the building, where they encounter TNA World Tag Team Champions the Hardys. They then warn the Hardys they have a problem and should watch Jason Hotch versus Cedric Alexander later. Footage is shown of YouTuber BDE challenging AJ Francis earlier in the night, only to be put through a table. Gia Miller interviews BDE, announcing he will face Francis tomorrow. BDE admits he's sore but grateful and determined to prove himself as a wrestler. Leon Slater apologizes for not helping and encourages him to stay confident. Rich Swann arrives to mock BDE, prompting Slater to question what Swann has been doing in recent years. Then we saw a match between Jason Hotch versus Cedric Alexander. The match opened with back-and-forth exchanges before Hotch bailed out and sent Josh Alexander to the floor. With the referee distracted, Skyler landed a cheap clothesline, nearly causing a countout. Alexander fought back, trading chops with Hotch, regained control, and ultimately hit the lumbar check to secure the pinfall victory. After the match, John Skyler and Special Agent Zero attack Alexander, and the Hardys make their way down to the ring for the save. TNA announced the signing of Mila Moore, accompanied by a video package highlighting her training under Ace Steel at the Foundation of Wrestling. The footage showed her shift from gratitude to questioning why TNA took so long to sign her, hinting at a heel persona. TNA also teased a profile on new signee Jada Stone next week. Then we saw a match between Kalani Jordan vs Heather by Elegance for the TNA Knockout Championship. Kalani Jordan and Heather started the match with a lockup before Jordan showcased her athleticism, sending Heather to the floor. Jordan followed with forearms, but Heather cut her off and took control, attacking her in the corner and applying a sleeper hold as the crowd rallied for Jordan. Despite the concierge distracting the referee, Jordan regained momentum and hit the Hollywood Star Press to secure the victory and retain the TNA Knockouts World Championship. We then get some promos for TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions The Inspiration vs Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crow vs the Angel Warriors. Elijah came out for his concert, reminding fans he previously smashed a guitar over Nick Nemeth and introducing a new TNA-themed song. Mustafa Ali interrupted, saying no one cared about Elijah or his music, and challenged the Hardys and Cedric Alexander to face Order 4 at Turning Point. When Elijah challenged him, Ali attacked, smashing a guitar over Elijah's injured arm. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Mike Santana vs Ryan Nemeth for the TNA World Championship. The match opened with Ryan Nemeth attacking Mike Santana, but Santana quickly countered with strikes, a back senton, and a corner cannonball. As Santana prepared for another move, Nick Nemeth appeared on the stage. Footage then showed Nick being attacked backstage by a masked assailant. Moments later, several NXT stars, including Lexis King, Brooks Jensen, High Rise, and Robert Stone, stormed the ring and attacked everyone, causing the TNA World Championship match to end in a no contest. Steve Macklin, Hometown Man, and the Rascals tried to help but were also overwhelmed. Dempsey targeted Santana's arm, and Stone stomped a chair onto it as the NXT group stood tall. After they left, a wounded Santana remained down as Frankie Kazarian arrived, invoking his Call Your Shot title opportunity. Then we saw a match between Mike Santana vs Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Championship. The match starts off with Kazarian grabbing Santana and hitting the Fade to Black, but he kicks out at 2. The crowd then chants for him. Kazarian then goes for the chicken wing, but Santana escapes. He then goes for the spin the block, but his arm is injured. Kazarian then nails Santana for the win and becomes the new TNA World Champion. After the match, Santana sits in shock as the show comes to a close. How would you rate this week's TNA show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching the video.